Welcome, and thanks for tuning in to another video from Thoughtful Programmer. I'm John, and today I'm continuing my thoughts on business objects. Today I'd like to talk about the architectural considerations of dealing with business object life cycles. As I mentioned earlier, business objects represent real things that are important to your business. For example, contracts, orders, any sorts of goods or services. And these real things have life cycles. And it's important to realize that what you can do with a business object changes as the business object progresses through its life cycle stages. With my cute little graphic here, there are things that you can do with an egg that you can't do with a chicken, and vice versa. And as a business architect, you need to ensure that any code that interacts with business objects is aware of the life cycle phases of those objects and deals with them properly. Life cycles go through stages, and the stages of life cycle vary, but in general, they begin with some sort of a preparation phase. And then there's generally a middle phase during which that object is very active, and then there's a follow-up phase that takes place after the primary activities have ended. And these life cycles, they're very reminiscent of your business processes, because just like a business process, the business object develops over time and evolves into these new states. As a business object passes through its life cycle phases, the content of the business object will change over time. For example, early on in the preparation phase of the business object, there's probably much less information there than there is in later stages of development. The capabilities of the business object also change. For example, in the preparation phase of a business object, it's probably very easy to make changes. And when you make changes, there probably aren't many side effects. Whereas in a later stage, it might be very difficult to make changes, and when you make those changes, there might be wide-ranging side effects. For example, if a contract is already in its execution phase, making a change to that contract could have a very wide impact. And that's what you need to think about as you're architecting the access to these business objects. Mechanisms so that you can be aware of what content exists and what content is valid at the specific phase of the business object's life cycle, making it possible for the code to interrogate and understand what the currently enabled capabilities are, making it possible to understand what the behavior of the object is at this particular phase of its life cycle, so that before you make a change to a business object, you understand what the side effects might be, what might be triggered by that change. All of these things are very important to ensure that the code that deals with these business objects does so in a realistic way that meets the needs of the business. So that's what I wanted to cover today, and I hope that you found that useful. And as always, thanks for tuning in, and if you like this content, please subscribe. Regardless, have a great day.